Hi, this is AJBYGO, the most consistent Yugi tuber. Don't look that up. Last weekend, I did top 16 at MBT's Chalice Slime Monthly for January of 2020 with Adventure PK. This was the first tournament with a massive turnout with the new ban list and Grand Creators Legal, so it was kind of a format a lot of people were trying to figure out. But before I even do anything else, here's the deck list. If you guys want to net deck and rip it off, I do not care. If this is all you came here for, you can leave now. Merry Christmas. If you are going to take it, please like and subscribe anyway. But that deck list, I'm sure, is going over well with everybody. This list for the guy playing Adventure PK is super ass. It makes no sense. Way too many Psychic E-Tellies and plays 3 Ghost Ogre. Yikes. Alright, it seems I'm going to have to explain some of my choices for this tournament. I feel like the choices that I made put me over a lot of the other decks. MBT in that same video left a comment saying that Adventure PK had the worst conversion rate in tournament history. My deck list is the list that made it through for, I think, a few different reasons. People were prepared for this deck and decks like this in this tournament. It was only knocked out of the top 16 when I went up against Calidora, who was on Mutants, and she drew Dimension Shifter both games. There's not a lot I can do to play through Dimension Shifter if I'm gonna be honest. Congrats to Calidora though. That list was based as hell, and I am going to steal it. So for a quick breakdown of the list, we have our Phantom Knights. We have 3 Torn Scale, 3 Silent Boots, 2 Ancient Cloak, a Stained Greaves, and a Ragged Gloves. We have the 3 Burning Abyss monsters. We have Libic, Graf, and Seer. Then we have our Brave Engine, the 9 cards. We have the 3 Water Enchantress, the 1 Wandering Griffin Rider, the 3 Rite of Aesamir, the 1 Fateful Venture, and the 1 Dracoback, the Rideable Dragon. Now, what I think put me over the other decks. I'm running 2 each of the Psychic Wielder and Psychic Tracker, as well as 3 Ghost Ogre and 3 E-Telly. We have our 1 Dasher, our 1 Celestial, and our 1 Scythe as the format tax because this deck is going to abuse the hell out of it. It's a real shame that it made it through this list, but if it's legal, we're going to be doing it. On top of that, we have our spells. We have 1 Rhoda, the 2 Fusion Destiny, semi-limited on the last list, and 1 Foolish Burial. Then we have our standard 5 Phantom Knight traps, 1 Wings, 1 Shade Brigandine, 3 Fogblade. That is the 44 main deck cards in this list. I know it's 44, it's a little awkward, but let me explain some things. I was labbing a lot with how I wanted to build this deck. I was going to play Lyrilisk, but Konami decided that it was bird season and shot them dead the Tuesday beforehand. So I had to, learn a new deck. I was not very practiced with this deck, but I knew it was going to be good, so I decided to sit down and mess with it. The 3 E-Telly coming off the list allows for a very high consistency with the 2 Tracker and the 2 Wielder to always ensure that you are getting to Cherubini without the activation of a normal summon effect, which is usually what you want your Torn Scale to be. It also gives a lot of wiggle room if you don't draw boots or access to boots to summon it. It's kind of rough sometimes if you don't open up the Brave half of the engine and you're stuck with Phantom Knight cards in your hand and you can only get 1 normal summon. This deck specifically did not have this problem. You will be finding your Cherubini lines in pretty much every game. I think there was 1 game in total out of the 8 rounds of Swiss and the 2 games I played in Top Cut where I didn't find what I needed. And also a lot of people were kind of unsure, I want to say, about the 3 Ghost Ogre inclusion. In my opinion, Ghost Ogre is one of the best hand traps of the format. So not only was it good to be running 3 of it, because I saw it in many games and it helped me win, it's good against VW, it's good against the Brave Engine, it's good against Sword Soul, it's good against anything that puts up a face-up spell and trap, which a lot of things do these games. Or it's good for removing an extra monster on board, which is insanely good. Pretty much this deck, all but 3 of its monsters are normal summons that you can start with, and you will probably find the extenders along with it. It was insanely consistent the whole tournament. The extra is currently a package of 2 Breaksword, 1 Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, 1 Raiders Knight, 1 Cherubini, and 1 Bardiche. It's a pretty standard lineup for PK. I don't really see me messing with this. A lot of people are playing the 2 Breakswords because you can actually rank down on Raiders Knight to make another Breaksword, But in my opinion, there were 3 matches I won where I just ranked up into Ark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. It had like 13,000 attack, and I just attacked for lethal. Only 1 Leviair. We're not doing the Utopic Future Draco. Pretty much everyone agrees that the Utopic Future Draco is not really the way to go with how the other things are legal in this format. When you can be making, you know, Scythe DPE constantly, it's probably better to just go into that than 1 Negate. Speaking of which, we have the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, we have the Dagda, and we have the Verte. And to round it off, we had Zeus, Link Spider, Appaloosa, Nightmare Unicorn, and Access Code Talker. I honestly don't know if I change anything about the extra deck. I think I used every single monster in there at some point or another in the tournament to get me out of some situation. It was this deck was very toolboxy in how I could pivot into whatever I wanted and finding certain combo lines. This deck is linear in the most non-linear way possible. You are going to be using several different combinations of cards to be doing your combo, and you need to know what pieces you are going to be sending off of Cherubini and Bardiche to fully do your combo, you know, get to DPE, Scythe, get your Wandering Griffin Rider, get your Fog Blades, whatever you need. It is going to be different almost every time on how you reach it, because Cherubini is such a wild-ass card. It can send Water Enchantress, and she can banish herself from grave to get the right of AWSANIMA to do your Brave combo before 5 summons, which is super important to stop Nibiru. Finally, we have the side deck. We have 3 token collectors for the Sword Soul, and it actually does stop the Brave matchups. Then we have 3 Lightning Storm, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Twin Twister, and 3 evenly matched. I'm losing to Eldritch enough on Master Duel with 3 Skill Drain. I'm not gonna lose to it here. And finally, we have 3 Forbidden Droplets. I really, really wish I could mess with the main deck more to get these in there, but I don't know what I'd cut out, maybe other than 1 more Wielder and 1 more Tracker, but that's only 2 cards. I genuinely don't know how I'd include this, but I really wish I had it in the main deck. I feel like it would have won me a lot more game 1s. Now that's kind of it. I really just kind of wanted to get my deck out there. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. I have a low self-esteem and I will cry, but I will answer them. And that's all I have for you. I should have a new video out soon. See ya.